Hello, everybody. My name is Renee Mandy, and I was assigned Chapter 4, The Brand Story Sell, and Chapter 5, The Good Brand Story. I felt as though both of these chapters really coincided a lot with each other, so throughout my presentation, I'm not going to specifically address each chapter individually, but just more as a whole. First, before we get started, I just want to say that my PowerPoint isn't connected to my video like some of you guys are. I hope to someday figure out how to do that because I think that's a really neat professional feature. But for now, just double click on the PowerPoint link and then you can follow along and watch the videos simultaneously. Alright, first I'm going to go over the objectives in which my presentation will seek to address. The first objective is what is story branding. We're going to be going over what exactly is story branding and defining what it is. We're going to go over as a second objective the story branding model. Third objective, which the presentation will seek to address, is the different aspects within the story branding model, such as obstacles, character cells, and character cell layers. Our next objective is examples of story branding and their slogans. We'll go over several different examples of story branding as well as their slogans and discuss, and as we reference them in the text, we'll kind of use them as an example. And then lastly, our last objective is we will go over the 4 levels or phases of the journey toward building a strong connection with your brand and your prospect. All right, so let's start with the first objective. What is story branding? Story branding actually is a really unique process. It's what gives a product or organization its label or what makes up that company. Some companies even have slogans, such as Subway, they have Eat Fresh, which in a way tells us a lot about that company and the product or products they have to offer. For instance, Subway, their Eat Fresh slogan, Subway is known as having fresh subs and sandwiches that sets them apart from all the other fast food restaurants like McDonald's and Burger King, which are just filled with fatty and greasy foods. When you want something fresh and light and somewhat healthy, Subway is known for having more healthier choices but satisfying. Our text discusses the story branding model, pretty in depth in my opinion, and in a way that's pretty easy to understand and grasp. This model consists of 2 character cells separated by obstacles. Similarly to how we define a story, this model also consists of characteristics, movements throughout the obstacle towards some goal. However, in the story brand model, the main character of the story is the actual brand itself. So the brand itself plays the main character role of the story of that company or what their motive or goal is. The primary goal of the brand itself is to create a relationship or connect with the prospect. In marketing, when obstacles occur, it's often in regards to overcoming how a company can build a brand that the buyers or seller can build a connection with the actual brand itself. Something they can relate to, something that they feel fills a need that they have. Our text discusses character cell layers. There are 2 layers exist within these character cell layers. There are 2 layers which both the brand and the prospect cells contain. The outer layer consists of physical and behavioral properties of the characteristics, and the inner layers are composed of more deeper beliefs and often additionally contain hidden values. Most companies use our text doesn't really discuss this, but it's something I wanted to add in, is a lot of companies use what's called an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is a brief, persuasive speech that is used to spark an interest in the goal or objective of an organization. This also helps a company to maintain their story brand. So a lot of times the elevator pitch is what helps is almost, in a sense, kind of like a mission statement, but a little bit more in a different aspect, and it kind of helps keep that the goal and the focus of what that the story brand of that company is. Alright, so to further discuss chapter 4 and 5, I'm going to use Starbucks as my primary example that I'm going to reference to, not only because I love Starbucks, but because I feel it is a good example to reflect on throughout the concepts presented in these chapters. Starbucks is known for delivering a consistently pleasant social experience that brings comfort, reliability, and enjoyment, as stated in their elevator pitch. And this is part of their elevator pitch that they use. Individuals find that they are able to connect with the Starbucks brand for a variety of reasons. Whether it's a morning wake-up coffee run or meeting spot for a friend, or a place to meet with a coworker for a quick business meeting over a cup of coffee, Starbucks seems to have a way of filling a need for everybody. Starbucks has built a story brand which can connect with a variety of different people over a variety of different reasons. We discussed earlier, as in regards to the story brand model, that the cells are composed of layers. In regards to the brand, the outer layer consists of aspects which are distinguishable to our five senses, such as packaging, price, features, and functional benefits. For Starbucks, they are viewed as pricier than the average coffee shop, but their coffee is known for their superior quality and consistency. After all, they are committed to the reputation of having the highest quality coffee in the world. Starbucks is well known for their large variety of choices, not only amongst coffee, but they have teas, lattes, frappuccinos, espressos, pastries, and they even have some sandwiches. Some of the larger Starbucks also have, a more variety of stuff like some fruit cups, mini lunches, other bottled drinks that you can purchase. Whether you're craving something hot, cold, sweet, or just simply needing that extra shot of espresso to get you through your day, Starbucks is sure to have you covered. It takes time for a company and their brand to build a connection. The journey toward a strong connection requires 4 main steps or 4 levels. Alright, so to go over these levels, our book uses one example, but it uses the example of a gentleman and purchasing a wallet. I'm going to reflect on Starbucks because I kind of think my example's a little bit more relatable in a sense, and it'll kind of help to sum up these 4 levels. So level 4 is known as the product's functional awareness. So for example, at this level, let's take a young woman on her way to work. She just moved to a new town and she's her first day at the job. She's on her way to work and a little tired, didn't get much sleep last night, so she's in desperate need of a coffee. She sees a Starbucks coffee shop conveniently located right off the exit where she works and decides to stop. At this point, the connection between her and Starbucks is very weak. She simply is just pulling off to the nearest place to get a cup of coffee. She is only concerned with the functional benefit of giving her that jolt to get her through the workday from the coffee or espresso that she's going to purchase. If it's me, I usually get like a triple shot of espresso before my way to work. Then we have level 2. This is called the product's feature comprehension. So now take this same lady, for instance. She has since decided that this is a convenient stop for coffee in the mornings on her way to work. Because of the convenient location right off the exit and the fact that traffic is low in this area and she can easily go to the drive-thru, get her coffee, and be on her way to work. However, she has to make a trip to however, at this level, we're going to use this as an example, she has to make a trip to a nearby town. She's going to meet a friend. Her friend calls her. She gets to town. Her friend says, hey, I'm driving around. Where do you want to meet at? Lady looks around. She sees a bunch of different coffee shops and little places to grab lunch. She said, oh, you know what? I've been going to the Starbucks back home. That's a really nice place to grab a quick bite to eat and a coffee. I know they have a consistently good quality of coffee. Let's just meet there. Since she is familiar with Starbucks coffee shop, she now says that she wants to meet at Starbucks because they have the consistently good coffee. At this point, the connection between her and Starbucks It's more of just a familiar connection. It's still rather weak, but it's more just a more familiar. On the level 3, this is when you start to have brand association. So we're going to say a few months pass, and this same young lady is asked to organize a meeting with several other coworkers to discuss future plans and objectives for their company. The lady decides she would like to meet someplace that is comfortable and relaxing, but with a professional and quiet atmosphere. The lady thinks back to all the times she has stopped in at the Starbucks on her way to work and decides that they have the perfect environment to hold this meeting. She says everybody can get a coffee and a pastry and sit down and begin discussing the future plans for the company. At this point, she's putting an association of Starbucks having good quality, having a good professional and enjoyable but relaxed and comfortable appearance with their brand. Because she could have chosen anywhere else, she decided to choose Starbucks. Level 4 is called brand affiliation. At this point, the strongest connection with the brand has been formed. The young lady has begun seeing advertisements on TV and on social media for Starbucks and their seasonal beverages that they advertise and promote. And these people are dressed professionally, holding their Starbucks and looking happy and cheerful. She begins to think, hey, that's me every day on my way to work. When I stop in a Starbucks, she now feels as though she can't start her mornings off right without her cup of Starbucks. So that's when the final connection and the strongest connection is then formed. She has an association with Starbucks. She only wants to stop at Starbucks because they have the best coffee, because she associates it with other aspects. Although that concludes the main part of my presentation, I needed to present my question to you guys. Let me write it written down. Okay. My question for you is to take two compatible companies, such as, for example, Apple and Microsoft, and compare their story brands. And how do these story brands, how are they similar, and how do these two similar companies' objectives and motives differ, and how do their story brands, are they similar and differ? You can choose any two similar companies like Apple and Microsoft, such as I use, or you can do like Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme donuts. Any two similar companies, and kind of compare and contrast their story brands and their similarities and their differences. Thank you for watching. Please bear with me because I'm sorry, I do get a little nervous during presentations, even though they're on video. But I look forward to seeing and listening to all your presentations. Thank you and have a nice night.